Here we go. Boom! We are live. We are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Money Matters. My name is Nev. Today is, I have no clue what day is today. It's Tuesday. I know what it is. It's a Tuesday. Good morning. Happy Tuesday to you. Boy, do we have exciting news today. We're going to be looking at the markets, both the traditional and the crypto kind as well. And of course, you know which one I prefer to call money and investing for the long term. That's right, because it has much better probability of getting excellent returns for me. And so that's where I get excited about it. And plus, they have much better news, much better drama as well. It's not as politicized. And, you know, it's weird, random guys like you and me and even few ladies too. Hey, I think ladies should get involved more in finance and in crypto. And some of them really are. But I would love to see this swoop come into this kind of stuff because it's important. It's important. Look, money might not make you happy. Money might not be able to buy you health. Although it possibly could, because today's episode we're going to be talking about how you can get yourself early out of the quarantine only if you can actually pay. Other than that, well, you're kind of stuck for about 14 days. We're also going to be talking about how you're going to be paying for the vaccines that are coming up and what prices you can expect to see. We're going to be taking a look at the futures market so you can expect and see, hey, will I make or lose money before the Thanksgiving turkey? So we're going to be talking about that stuff. Obviously, the super exciting piece is Bitcoin did hit over $19,000. It has come down since, but that's good news because that means you get more for less. Of course, we're going to be taking a look at ETH as well because it has performed really nicely. And we're going to be looking at all kinds of interesting news around the world. So stay tuned for that. I do want to welcome everybody who's watching this live. Feel free to say hello. I promise I don't bite on Tuesdays, maybe on Wednesdays, but definitely not on Tuesdays. And of course, if you are listening this anywhere whatsoever on some sort of podcast somewhere, hey, if there is a smash like button, if there is a smash bell button, if there's a smash subscribe button, do me a huge favor, smash it. All right, y'all, let's do this. All right, y'all. Happy Tuesday. I probably scared you, didn't you? You jumped. My cat jumped. I can tell you that much. All right, we're not going to waste any time whatsoever. Remember how I told you money cannot buy many things, but it can get you out of quarantine faster? Well, here it is, England. You can actually escape. If you arrive to England, you can escape the quarantine by more than half after 5 days if you pay about 65 to 120 pounds. Roughly speaking, we're going to be talking, let's say, between 100 and 200 bucks. You can be out of the quarantine jail in as little as 6 to 7 days. If you don't want to pay, well, you gotta stay in the quarantine, and stay you will. Hey, and talking about the quarantine and COVID and all of that crazy stuff, what's happening with the vaccines? Well, another thing that is very interesting, as you know, we do have Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca that are all kind of coming in. Some are saying 90% effectiveness, some are saying 96%, some are saying, hey, we're still testing, we don't really know. Will you join us? I don't know about you personally, but I am not being a test bunny on this one. So what are the prices that you can expect? Well, Pfizer says 20 bucks per dose, free for early recipients. And I'm thinking, you mean for early testers? No, that's not what it is. United States government actually has pre-purchased the doses, and they did assure, when they rolled out the whole thing and they said, we got this whole thing and everybody gets it for free. Well, they did mean for the ones that the government paid for, the 100 million people. The unfortunate piece is that there's a few more hundred of U.S. individual citizens and otherwise living in U.S. So I guess for them, they don't get it for free. So that's kind of how that works. Oops, I guess is the correct term. maybe he's related to Trump. You know, Trump also has a lot of oopses as well. So maybe there's some sort of relation. Call me crazy. They do require 2 doses, and they need to be given 3 weeks apart. Now, they didn't mention if you have to be dosing every year or if this is one of those like once and done. But it sounds like 2 doses is what you will need. Moderna actually has a bit more interesting pricing structure, just the way we like it. Hey, you never know how much you're going to pay. It's kind of like depending on the market. It's almost like going into the market and putting your trade and see what you come up with. But I kind of feel like that's what the vaccines are going to do anyways. So the first vaccine batch will be covered by the government contracts, but pricing will depend on the amount of ordered. US has secured 100 million doses, 40 Americans at the cost of $15. European Union, well, they didn't get as good of a deal. So hey, maybe just maybe Trumpster knows what he's doing when it comes to these renegotiations and stuff. So we'll see if Sleepy Joe can do the same. Because hey, by the way, did you hear? Sorry, I should have said this earlier when we started. Biden is officially the president. Because he wasn't officially earlier in November, but now it's officially. So we'll see. It still could change. You never know. It's a long term between now and January 20th. All right, let's continue over here. What's going on with the stuff? So when it comes to retail, they're saying that you and I are going to pay the most, potentially 32 to 37 bucks. But hey, I do actually think that by the time your insurance actually rolls in, those prices are probably going to hit about 2,000, just so they can show you they gave you a huge discount for continuing to pay them. And oh, by the way, if you are on the higher end of the whole insurance thing, I'm sorry, your copay is still about 50 bucks in addition to the prices that you pay. So we'll be paying through the nose for this puppy. Trust me on that one. AstraZeneca, ooh, the cheapest one so far. Under $4 per dose, but free for early recipients. Well, how did it turn into $4? Well, this is what happened. AstraZeneca, they supplied the U.S. government. They did purchase 300 million from AstraZeneca, which at that rate, they actually ended up costing U.S. only $4 per vaccine. But that is not the price that you and I are going to pay. They are going to provide it at cost in perpetuity to low and middle income countries in developing world, which means us in US, we're going to be paying thousands again. Oh yeah, look forward to that. And of course, it's very unclear how many doses a person will need from AstraZeneca. By the way, Moderna is too as well, in case I forgot to mention it. So they're still in stage 3 trials. And it's interesting enough that they said, well, if you put in the 2 doses that are the exact same size, the efficiency is only about 62%. Woo, feel really good about that one. But hey, if you save up a little bit, put a half a dose first time, 100% dose the second time, the efficiency is 90%. So that's one of the news that I wanted to share with you. And who knows how this is going to turn out, y'all. I just, I just know I don't want to be a first bunny in this batch to get tested. All right, let's switch over to money because that's what we're here for. So let's see, S&P futures, uppity up. Hey, Thanksgiving is good for everybody. And I guess because Joe Biden is actually like official now, the price of the market should actually go up. The interesting piece, though, that it might be is as I scroll down through the chart so you can take a look at what's going on. The interesting piece is that many of the, that many people, they buy into, NASDAQ down, no bueno. Interesting piece is that many individuals are in retirement, right? And so they have this automated balancing piece that when they hit certain age, they automatically sell stocks and buy bonds for them. And it turns out there's about 500,000 to 1 million of those things that kind of have to happen before the end of December. And so if more people are selling on the stock side of things, guess what that means? Price gotta go down. So be very careful, please, in the markets over here. And here we go. Russell is up. I mean, when things look super green, I'm like, I don't trust you, man. You're gonna smack me upside the head the moment I get excited about the whole thing. So gold actually has been going down almost in perpetuity, it seems like. I mean, 1 month. The only thing that is up is 6 months, but you can still see were super, super low from the high. So, hey, Peter Schiff, I appreciate you, man, but gold has its place. I don't have anything against it, as does silver. But look, it's definitely down. So if you are in gold only, you are losing money big way. Here we go on the Treasury yield. Came severe down. This is what I call the V-shaped recovery right over here. Look at this puppy, man. And now it's just confused. And talking about confused, look at volatility. Now volatility is down, but hold on to your chair. Watch this out. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. I mean, it's super erratic. Doesn't know what's going on. It's almost as confused as you and I about should I buy or should I not buy that vaccine thing. All right, y'all, let's switch over to the crypto markets because I think this is the most exciting piece of the entire financial system stuff because this is where the good stuff is happening. This is where the money's made. This is where the money's lost. And these days, well, money is mostly made, not lost. Let me refresh this whole thing so we can actually take a look because, by the time, over 19,000 again. Booyah! Talk about exciting, man. I'm glad I refreshed. So we were at below 19,000 when I first started researching stuff for the morning. We were at about 18,700, something like that. We are officially over $19,000 again. As you can see on the screen, 19,029 cents. Thank you very much. And you know what? This 29 cents right over here, that used to be price of XRP. XRP is no longer at 29 cents, and 29 cents was like a good price for XRP. XRP is now trading at 62 cents. 62 cents. Thank you very much. And it's up 28.7% in 24 hours. I'm telling you, the markets are super crazy. Ethereum has blown over it was trying to get to 400. It was at 450, and then it just blew through the 500 level, landing us at 600. I think it's going to go sideways a little bit, and boom, baby, off we go further up. So right now it's 607.62, 2.7 over the 24 hours. Bitcoin Cash, almost 15% pump. Link has above 15 bucks. So hey, if you have loaded when it went back down, it might hit 20 bucks and soon. So stay tuned for that stuff. Again, nothing I say over here, I forgot to say this, it's financial advice. I have no clue how things are going to roll out. I don't have a crystal ball because if I could predict all of the other stuff, I would probably have a very different job. So anyways, let's go take a look at the 24-hour pampas. And the pumpers are XLM, y'all, 41%. Boom, congrats if you hold stellar. But hey, don't get excited too much because the very next step in the roll is 28.7 for XRP, then Dash at 24.3, Zen 20.2, Vite 16.6. I mean, it's really good old pumping days. I mean, when we say bull, we really do mean bull, although we do have some losers. SushiSwap is down 13%. Ocean in the second spot at 7.2. Then we get NMR at 6.2. Balancer at 5.7. Wave 4.8. Wi-Fi 4.7. And then it gets kind of like in the, fours, twos, ones, zeros. And then apparently AETH is confused. So we don't really know the price on that one. But that is okay. Hey, let's take a look over here at Ethereum US dollar. What's going on. And as you can see right over here, we're looking at the chart. We did hit kind of like we were climbing up. We kind of did turn a little bit on we're looking at the 1 hour candles just in case you can't see it. And as you can see, it's kind of turned a little bit on the bearish side, but this is like super short term. We're still above the 50. We're still above the 200. We're still within the channel. I think we're going to come over here. This might be a good buying opportunity. I honestly believe that it's going to bounce. Again, very similar to kind of what we saw here is what I anticipate we're going to see right over here. Now, this should be Bitcoin, but for some reason, it's showing Ethereum. Why did Ethereum show up twice? Look at this. Man, I didn't want to see the chart twice. I wanted to see it once. I was actually going to show you the Bitcoin chart over here just because of the big old changes that are happening. So let me see if I can pull this puppy up and see what's going on. Hold on. BTC USD right? And you know how it goes. You know how it goes. All right, let me change this. No need to hide in what I'm doing. What I'm doing, because it's not all that exciting. I mean, it's very exciting, personally. Hold on. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. This should be much better if it decides to play along. Oh goodness gracious! Thank you. Okay, so here is what we have. What we've been tracking this puppy, as you know. We've been tracking it quite a bit. We're looking at the 1 hour. There's a lot of stuff happening on this chart, and if I remove it, all of our tracking things go away. But if I keep it, then you can't see a darn thing. So as you can see, we did sort of come up with the local support level of 17,450, 500 dollars. I think that we're the sort of the ceiling was 18,850. I believe that this 18,850 is now going to become a support as we go into the new high. Let us switch it over to the 15-minute chart. This is going to get super exciting. Hold on. Let's take a look, and here we go. You can see that we have attempted to break over 19,000. We have broken above 19,000 as well. So now it's just going to be a matter of whether it can sustain. But again, this candle right over here was a nice reminiscence of, oh my goodness, this is a 15-minute chart, so it's going to take a while for me to find it. Where is it? This guy right over here. You see this guy right over here on 20th of November. So I think we're going to kind of come on up, print it higher, and whoa, and it's going to be an interesting piece. All right, y'all. So this is kind of what's happening. Super excited about it. Congrats if you're making money. But let's take a look at what's going on in the news reporting section of the whole thing. Now, I actually, last week maybe, something like that, you can actually find it on the YouTube channel under Money Matters. I actually did a full-blown sort of analysis on the screen of like how we could go from where we are and hit a bottom. New bottom is going to be about 25,000. I think I want to say I said 24,900, blah, 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 blah. And the new high that I had come up with would be about $130,000. And we see that somebody else is just as intelligent as me or has used the same analysis to come up with the fact that the new bull market could potentially bring the price of Bitcoin to 160 top, 25,000 bottom. So really interesting article. If you want to read it, it's on Bitcoin, news.bitcoin.com. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I'm going to tell you, you want to see how I came up with it? It's all in the video. I explain you. I actually do the map right there with you because I am not that smart to do the math in my head. I have to go out there and write it up and do it that way. But hey, this is the exciting piece for Japanese. Maybe for Japanese, you can do this as well. They have launching crypto lending service, and this is coming from their giant. This is the financial giant in Japan, SBI. Now you can actually get a loan from your crypto, and of course, it includes the 1% rate, and it includes the withdrawal taxes. The minimum lending is 0.1 BTC, maximum is 5 BTC. So hey, whales, don't get too excited, man. Nobody gonna lend you on 10,000 BTC. We can't afford it, okay? All right, the other piece that is exciting is Pendle Group, an Australian securities exchange listed investment manager with over 73 billion US dollars or 100 billion Aussie dollars in asset under management is going into Bitcoin. So they are joining the Grayscale and the Greats that are putting billions of dollars for their investors into Bitcoin, which means price has one way to go, up. I'm excited. BIS, the Bank of International Settlement, the Bank of Banksters, is suggesting embedded monitoring tool for stablecoins. Interesting. Now, this is what's going on. So, of course, Facebook. You know, someday when CBDCs rolls out and you wonder who in the world created that, well, I'm giving you who you can blame. It's Zucky and Facebook's Libra, because that was the wake-up call for all of the bankers and international regulators and finance ministers. And if Libra just kept their little pretty mouth shut and decided not to roll out the money that could actually take over the world and freak out everybody, nobody would have to worry about regulations. But now they're fully aware of it. I'm just kidding. They were aware of it before it, but Libra, there was actually truly a wake-up call because they looked at it and said, wait a minute, a third of the world is on Facebook and they roll out their own money. We're all doomed, man. We don't like that. So, of course, they did shut it down, and Libra is now turning into all kinds of things, and a bunch of people left and a bunch of people coming in. But it's still a project that is being developed, and who knows, it will be a while, but I think it's going to come. But it's not going to be nothing like what you thought it was going to be when they first announced it, because the world flipped out. Now, of course, one of the things that's been happening since then and growing in popularity are stable coins, right? Tether, USDC, TUSDC, GUSDC. I mean, right? We're seeing it all kinds of places that are happening. Then you have the decentralized versions, like DAI is being one of them, XDAI coming in. There's some other sort of DAO project coming in, which actually there's one that is coming in today's show that is interesting one for sure. But this is the stable coins that the major embedding of the supervision come in place, and they're saying, hey, we're going to actually put in some sort of direct and automated data, so when you buy things, sell things, trade things, we automatically know it and it's going to be reported. And you know what? USDC already, each coin actually is sort of individually accounted for, and so when you hold it, it's a very cool thing. It's sort of like a ERC 721 for stable coins, you know, each one of them is different but the same. So maybe that would be ERC 1155. I don't know. You let me know what you think about the whole thing. But hey, this is the case for some existing non-stable digital payment forms such as Alipay and WeChat Pay in China. So exciting. We are turning Chinese. You know, they did that song in the 80s, I want to say. I think I'm turning Japanese. But I suggest let's turn it to I think I'm turning Chinese, because, you know, this is the way the government is going to roll. And hey, I do have more exciting news that is going to scare the living bejesus out of you and potentially get you excited to buy even more crypto. After careful analysis of the various challenges presented by the model, the authors argued the better solution could ultimately be to embed fiat currencies with similar paradigm. So instead of them creating their own CBDCs, the authors suggest very similar thing that I suggested only a few days ago, and that is they will actually watch the stable coins and be the experimental proposal that points out the invitation of how they're actually going to utilize what exists, is instead of creating their own wheel. Because let's face it, government is good for some stuff. I can't actually think of what they're good for, but I'm sure, well, maybe the late night show with hosts, right? That could be a good one. But I don't know what else they're good for, and definitely not good for innovation. Binance, what the hey is going on with Binance? Binance wants you out. They don't want you in, okay? So what they did is they are sending another warning to the users. Quote, "Dear user, we constantly perform periodic sweeps of our existing controls. We noted that you are trying to access Binance while having identified yourself as a U.S. person." The email states, "Please note that as per our terms of service, we're unable to service U.S. persons. You have 14 days to close all active positions on your account and withdraw all your funds, failing which your account will be locked." So they're kicking us out, y'all. They don't want us there. And why is that? Well, it's regulations, taxations, and everything else, and they're petrified that they're going to go down the route of everybody else who's attempting to service the U.S. So the technology war has begun. I know somebody was saying, you know, U.S. owns Internet 1.1, China owns 1.2, who will owe Internet 3.0? And I'm thinking, probably everybody else except for U.S. Thank you very much, regulations, because they're killing us, y'all. I mean, you can move out, but unless you renounce your citizenship, you're going to still have to be paying the taxes and abiding by regulation. And then, you know, it's really impossible to, like, you know, regulate folks out. And if you do it, you're going to have to use some sort of KYC service in order to do that stuff, which, by the way, many of them want you to do. So if you're building a project, start thinking about that stuff. Okay. Treasury Department. Woo, Ooh, exciting. Since we're talking about the government and the regulation and the treasuries inside and outside of the department, you may have heard that the newly president elect, officially now for the second or third time, something like that, has elected a Treasury Secretary, none other than the former Federal Reserve Chair, Janet Yellen. Woohoo! So, what is happening with Janet Yellen? Well, if you will remember, she sort of did a lot of loosey goosey, very messy kind of stuff with her money. And by the way, she hates Bitcoin. But hey, there is a guy right over here in the picture. Here it is, live from Twitter, way back when, a few years back. Well, you know, Yellen didn't want to audit the Fed. Yellen doesn't want anybody to know what's happening in the government because, you know, we don't want transparency. Maybe that's the reason why she doesn't like crypto, because, you know, everybody knows everything because it's a freaking public blockchain and everybody can see who bought what, who sold what. So just something, you know, this is the new Treasury Secretary coming in with bysters. So Sleepy Joe is going to have scary Yellen, and we'll see how it all going to roll out. I do expect that they're going to be printing ad nauseum. I do expect they're going to be lowering the interest rates. I do expect that the, you know, the effective rate is going to go negative, and that all spells really, really, really good story for everybody who is holding on to crypto. Potentially gold, we'll see. Just don't know quite about that one. And then, of course, hard assets that you have leveraged, because when all of that turns in and the negative interest hits in, it actually eats your debt even faster. And hey, since we're all indebted, this is very exciting news for us. The only thing that this is really, really bad for is going to be for cash, like super, super bad for cash. But again, we'll see. In the final bit of news, we do have a new sort of DeFi project coming in called Hedge. And Hedge is actually having some of the biggest names in DeFi, including Framework Ventures and Alameda Research, to back Hedge. And what they're doing, they're investing about $1.2 million into an initial cohort of 33 managers operating on the platform. And it's a non-custodially social trading platform that allows the traders to choose asset managers to pool the funds with. So you put your money over there, you get yourself a nice little trader, and then he trades on everybody's behalf inside the pool. I think that that's pretty freaking exciting. And of course, because everything is on blockchain, you can absolutely find out how they have been trading before. And in the final news of the day, I know, super short show, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. When you have good news, you can only go so far. Everything else, it's dark news. Wall Street Journal, look at this. AstraZeneca vaccine up to 90% effective in trial. Meanwhile, we just covered of how you get to 90%. You got to pull out early, if you know what I mean, and then go all the way. So that's, I promise, this is not my advice. This is AstraZeneca. So this is medical advice, I would conclude. No? I'm just kidding, y'all. All right, so what has happened? Wall Street Journal actually has put in Bitcoin back on its main page. We haven't seen this since about 2017, 2018. And of course, they're putting it in because we have hit $19,000 for the first time in the long time. Of course, will people start FOMOing in? I don't know. I think people will start predominantly waiting until we start hitting even higher highs, at which point, I promise you, I will be taking a profit on the way up. So there you go, y'all. I appreciate you super much for being here, for tuning in. If you like the show, do me a huge favor, smash the thumbs up, do subscribe to the channel. If there's some sort of bell notification, hey, smash it as well, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Until then, stay forever money blessed, and do remember, you are only one.